That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
Most of Meghan Markle's yacht girl pics have been scrubbed from the internet. There was a sex tape about her.
And I saw it.
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
Zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness.
But they can't make money off the royal family.
So why did you say yes to doing this show?
Because it's you. And to me, that means...
There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s.
There's evidence that suggests that she went on Epstein's yacht at the same time as Prince Andrew.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
It's all
And in the tape, she's performing a sex act on him that's unbelievable.
Meghan Markle has reduced herself to tears on podcast after podcast, yet still signs her gifts with the royal style she no longer holds, while one by one her staffers hand in their resignations. Behind the sensational headlines, however, lurk a tangle of lawsuits, waves of public indignation, and persistent whispers about a murky past. If she's to carry a title in the tabloids, it might as well be the Duchess of Drama. In today's court of public opinion, folks seem more willing to hail Neil Armstrong as the definitive astronaut than to accept Meghan Markle as anything remotely authentic.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Meghan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes.
Enjoy them.
I forgot to have fun. You're right. You're right.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Keen-Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
Meghan joined Jamie Kern-Lima, the self-made billionaire and motivational powerhouse, for what was billed as a deeply candid podcast conversation. What unfolded, however, felt entirely different. Between the host's cringe-inducing moments and Meghan's own affected delivery, the whole thing rang more hollow than her cooking on that Netflix special. In one particularly telling clip, she practically leveraged her roster of celebrity friends to boost her own image, right there in the middle of her honest podcast appearance.
Welcome to the Jamie Kern-Lima Show.
Her show is unlike any I've ever done.
A revelation. When you listen, it feels like a hug, but your brain and your spirit and your heart is like, wow.
When I look into Jamie's eyes, I feel like I am on some other cosmic level with her.
I could see the light around her. She's infused with light.
Meghan dabbed at her eyes and seemed to well up as she described the immense pressure she endures. Yet observant viewers were quick to point out that no real tears fell, just a carefully staged performance for social media. They weren't shy about calling it out. Critics even unearthed an older clip in which Meghan quips that she's capable of crying on command.
We're at Soho House, Toronto, which is basically TIG headquarters for me. I write my stories here, I take my meetings here, and it's kind of amazing because all over the world, if I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base. You'll make yourself cry. Oh, I do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, 1 tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
The instant that old clip resurfaced, those tears on her podcast shifted from seeming heartfelt to feeling like nothing more than a well-rehearsed performance.
When you were saying, like, do you want to just do like cozies and no makeup? I like the idea of like, okay, great, let's let them see us.
Nobody talks like that, and nobody acts like that, because that's weird behavior that we're seeing from both of these people if we're supposed to be thinking under the impression that they're being authentic.
Just as the buzz began to die down, body language specialist Scott Rouse stepped onto the scene, and his analysis poured gasoline onto the flames. Rouse zeroed in on Meghan's rapid blinking, her incongruous facial expressions, and those fleeting gestures that didn't line up with her words. According to him, these nonverbal leaks often betray discomfort, or even deceit. Most striking, he noted, was how Meghan's face stayed eerily calm when she talked about her emotional turmoil. The raw feeling came through in her tone, but her body told a different story. That split between what she said and how she physically presented herself only fueled the debate. Was this a moment of true vulnerability or a masterful bit of acting?
Do you think you'll be married forever?
Yes.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Something's up here. See that little shoulder shrug when she said yes?
Yes, yes,
Did you hear how high her voice was when she said yes?
yes.
When we're stressed, our larynx closes up a little bit and our voice tone gets a little bit higher. That's why the pitch of the yes is so high.
Scott Rouse's analysis sparked a fresh wave of online scrutiny. Suddenly, no one was merely absorbing Meghan's remarks. They were scrutinizing every micro-expression. She mentions composing nightly emails to each of her children, so they'll have something to revisit as they grow older. Charming in theory, perhaps, but let's be honest. Kids these days aren't exactly pressed for bedtime reading material.
But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
Wow.
They will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Because that's really what you want when you're 18. 40,000 emails, Maureen, from your mother.
These emails are so that when my children are of age, they can come to me and say, oh my God, you loved us so much. It's me, me, me.
Midway through the episode, an image flashed on screen of a gift basket Meghan had personally sent, complete with a handwritten card signed, Her Royal Highness. The awkward twist? By protocol, she's long since forfeited the right to that regal style.
Zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us. She's using it in private with her friends. That's even weirder than if they were still trying to milk the titles in public. That is just like all the confirmation that I need that this woman is just obsessed with being a royal, that is all this was all about. That she's angry that she's screwed the pooch by claiming racism and basically getting kicked out of the family. She just can't give up the HRH titles that quickly. Like, this is literally what she has always wanted.
After stepping back from official royal duties, Meghan formally relinquished the privilege of using her royal style. Critics derided her insistence on the honorific as a delusional affectation. Even acquaintances reportedly winced at the spectacle, calling it downright cringeworthy. On social media, voices piled on with comments like, "You can't have it both ways, Meghan."
A staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Now, the king can end this feud, but not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work.
The backlash has moved beyond public opinion. Now the monarchy itself is under fire. A recent survey revealed that an astonishing 97% of those polled believe King Charles should officially revoke Harry and Meghan's royal titles.
You can't use your HRH, you can't use royal, and you can't be half in and half out, which is what they wanted.
Thus far, King Charles has steered clear of any overt measures, but insiders insist that Prince William will act decisively once he ascends the throne. Reportedly, William regards the Sussexes' behaviour as a profound betrayal, and is poised to sever all connections in order to uphold the monarchy's standing. Whatever the ultimate outcome, one fact remains indisputable. The split between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family has transcended private disagreements. It has become a matter of public spectacle.
He's a duplicitous, self-centered, vile, disloyal hypocrite.
This is underscored by Prince Harry's very public lament over the allegedly insufficient personal security provided for his family.
He blamed pretty much everybody, of course, as usual, other than himself, including his father, the king, who is currently, of course, suffering from cancer.
Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary.
He refused to finance it himself, insisting instead that the royal household should pick up the tab, only to see that demand flatly rejected in the end.
I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
Harry's digging an even bigger hole for himself here.
Well, I think he's dug so deep now, he'll strike water any day now.
Meanwhile, Meghan attempted yet another reinvention. Her lifestyle label, originally known as American Riviera Orchard, was quietly rebadged as ever. But the relaunch quickly unraveled. The new name clashed with several existing small enterprises, and a more awkward snag emerged when the revamped logo proved almost indistinguishable from the official coat of arms of a Spanish town. immediately inviting potential legal action. Online commentators, unconvinced by the brand's soft, refined aesthetic, denounce the move as a transparent grab for relevance and revenue, especially after the limited stock products vanished within 30 minutes of release, revealing the rollout as more flash than substance.
Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch wasn't as successful as she considered it. Critically, With Love Meghan was not a success.
Just when the narrative seemed past its breaking point, Meghan's DIY bath salt tutorial on Netflix has ignited what may become a substantial legal conflagration. A Maryland resident named Robin Patrick alleges that the supposedly soothing mixture left her with severe chemical burns and painful ulcers. Already vulnerable due to her diabetes, she contends that natural additives like arnica and Himalayan salt exacerbated her skin condition instead of improving it. Patrick is now preparing to sue Meghan, Netflix, and Archewell for negligence, demanding up to $10 million in compensation. This latest twist only adds to an ever-growing list of controversies surrounding the couple's post-royal ventures.
A lot of people, Meghan Markle was also in the Soho House. They said that she was a girl that was hired to walk VIPs and fill out the red carpets and stuff like that,
They hope to become actresses. They hope to become any type of celebrity, and they will do anything.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
They start their way up. They latch on to the first rich guy or famous guy they get that they meet at the Playboy Mansion. This is their exit strategy. I'm going to marry this man, and he's going to take care of me the rest of my life.
She used to be on Deal or No
infiltrated?
Deal.
And now,
Look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with the briefcases.
She didn't like being objectified on Deal. Did you think it was an executive position, ma'am?
Long before Meghan Markle earned the title Duchess of Sussex, whispers and conjecture swirled around her past. Chief among these persistent rumors is the claim that she once toiled as a yacht girl, a euphemism for women hired to attend lavish yacht parties thrown by society's wealthiest circles.
But Meghan Markle has been accused of being a former yacht girl. They're also claiming that she could have spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before meeting Prince Harry. Meghan was invited to join a yacht week in Croatia in 2016. There's evidence that suggests that she went on Epstein's yacht at the same time as Prince Andrew.
Some insiders suggest she might have worked those high society yacht gatherings early on in her career, though nothing conclusive has ever surfaced. Then there's the allegation that Meghan possessed more intimate knowledge of the royal family long before she ever crossed paths with Prince Harry.
Meghan did claim that before dating Harry, she never Googled him, and she said she didn't know much about the royal family.
I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
Though Meghan insisted she knew little about Prince Harry or royal life, her archived blog entries and a confidante's recollections tell another story. A long-held enthrallment with the monarchy, and perhaps even personal ambitions. Whether these accounts amount to unverified gossip, mere coincidence, or truths she's kept under wraps, they only serve to stoke the belief that Meghan orchestrated her ascent into the global limelight.
These two never stop going on global media to trash the royal family and the monarchy, and each time they do it, they chip away at the mystique and the magic and the popularity, and that's why I despise them for what they're doing.
Once celebrated as iconoclasts who would tear down outdated royal customs, Meghan and Harry now strike many as consummate attention seekers, weaponizing a narrative of victimhood for maximum publicity. From staged tears and appropriated titles to podcast theatrics and dubious product rollouts, every maneuver feels less like an act of authenticity and more like a carefully choreographed bid to steer the story. They profess to despise the spotlight, yet they've penned memoirs, inked lucrative deals, and unveiled lifestyle brands that all scream, "Notice us." In the end, the real question isn't whether those tears were genuine, it's whether anyone still buys the narrative.